Hey guys, Taylor here. And after a few weeks on hiatus, the insight videos are back. I had every full intention of posting an insight video 2 weeks ago, but before that, a lot of negative, hateful, cruel acts against humanity happened. With that in mind, I decided to go ahead and take a few weeks off the insight videos, which are typically very serious, and I just decided to go ahead and give you guys some videos that hopefully made you smile, and I really hope you guys enjoy them. With all that being said, let's go ahead and get this insight video started, shall we? I asked you guys on Facebook, I think either Wednesday or Thursday of last week, what you guys wanted me to talk about in today's insight video, and one of you said something about friendships. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, I'm pretty sure that some of you autism parents who have had very bad experiences with your child with autism having any sort of friendships, this subject may be a little bit touchy for you, and I completely understand that. I'm just simply talking about this because you guys wanted to know about my experiences with friendships, about some of my struggles with making friends, or any of my friends on the spectrum, and my advice, stuff like that. And so, as always, I am here to deliver. The first two friends I ever had were my sister and brother. Those two were the first friends I've ever had, and you know what? It's really cool because even though sometimes we fight, we are still friends. They have numerously put up with transferring from school to school, put up with me having my meltdowns, put up with some of my attitude. They've also stood up for me when they didn't really have to. I'm pretty sure I've told you guys this a couple of times. I think I even brought it up in my story video. I was diagnosed at a time where autism was affected in 1 in every 10,000 kids. And I was living with autism at a time where it was very rare and nobody knew anything about it. So you can probably imagine that if you take that and plus transferring from school to school a lot in your childhood, making friends can be a very difficult task. Here's a spoiler alert. It was so incredibly difficult. The first friends that I've ever made and that I'm still friends with to this day are the friends that I grew up with in church. I've known them since as long as I can remember. We practically even grew up together. We've had little slumber parties at the church together, like the youth kids would come together and have this giant camp out in the gymnasium. We also had little lock-ins that we did together. We went bowling, and we even went to camp together. It was just a really good safe haven for me, and I knew that these friends accepted me for who I was. They saw me as this person who was dealing with something much more bigger than herself, and she needed love, support, acceptance, and friendship. And they gave me that, and for that, I am so incredibly beyond grateful. Now let's go on to talk about the friends that I've made in school. And this is such a very fairy tale-like story. It starts out bad, but then I come out living happily ever after. It was really hard for me to make friends at school because, like I said, I kept transferring from school to find a safe haven for me where my IEP would be supported and that I would still get the needs that I needed. So it was really challenging for me to make a friend 1 year and then having to transfer to another school a different year and then make a whole new friend. You guys know what I'm saying? By the way, mad props to my brother and my sister for putting up with all this. But like I said at the beginning of the video, I was diagnosed at a time where autism was so rare and nobody knew anything about it. So I was always looked at as the freak. I was always looked at as the retard, the stupid weirdo, stuff like that. It wasn't just that. I've also had friends, know how I use the term friends because those friends were not really my friends. They would talk badly behind my back, they would pick on me, they would poke fun at me, they would say one thing and then have me do this reaction, and then they'll say another thing that was a complete opposite of what they said before just to get a reaction, and that was their source of entertainment. This has only gone on between the years of 1st grade and 5th grade. In that time frame was when this happened. In 6th grade, I transferred for the final time, and I would eventually stay at the school that I went to up until I graduated. And I decided to put up this wall for myself because I didn't want to be hurt or betrayed like that again. But little did I know back then that those 6 years that I've spent with that school were the years where I have made some of the best friends I've ever had in my life, next to my church friends and next to my siblings. It wasn't until the middle of 9th grade where some of my friends and I decided to have our own group. And it wasn't a specific type of group. It wasn't like the preppy group or the chess group, the sports group, the trouble kid group, you know, kids who got into trouble a lot in school. It was a group that essentially said, you're human. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what circumstances you have. It doesn't matter what background you came from. It doesn't matter what you look like. You're a person, and we accept you because you are a person who loves and cares and accepts others. For the next 4 years of my life, I would be around these friends who've accepted me for who I was. Now, I am back at that school that I stayed from 6th grade till the day I graduated as a volunteer. And through that, I have made more friends. And I am just so incredibly grateful that I just made more friends and that they love me for who I am, they support me, and they really encourage me. After high school, I think a couple months after I graduated, I automatically went to college. I'm taking a little financial break from college right now, but I have every full intention of going back and getting that degree that I worked so hard for. Making friends in college, for me at least, was a little bit tricky because I go to a private college, and basically what I do is that I go there, go to my class, and then I go home. But I did make a few friends that I've met in college, and they, again, just like the friends in high school, they've accepted me for the autistic person that I was, and they fully support me, and they absolutely love me for the person that I am, and that is really cool, and that is so awesome to have. I do have friends who I've met from the internet, and I was very, very careful, and just like all the other friends that I've had, these girls are amazing. They're some of the most amazing people I think I've ever met. They are so warm and so kind, and we text each other, we Snapchat each other, we send letters and gifts back and forth, and I just think that it is so cool. I also do have imaginary friends, which is part of the autism. These friends come whenever I'm feeling lonely, whenever I'm feeling afraid or sad or a little bit mad. These imaginary friends of mine, they're comfort to me. They make me feel happy, they make me feel safe, and as long as they keep feeling that way, my mom does not mind if I have them at all. I just have to be aware of the times and places that they come and visit me. The struggles I've had while making friends is pretty typical for an autistic person. It definitely is hard. Number one, my social skills were so awful back then. In fact, today I think my social skills need a little bit more improvement. I am a naturally shy person, and so it was very hard for me to go up and say, "Hi, my name is Taylor. Do you want to be my friend?" It was very hard for me to do that, and it is still very hard for me to do that. Another big struggle for me was trying to make sure that these new friends that I had would not hurt me and would not use me like it has happened before. That horrible dark past in my elementary school with some of these so-called friends has affected the way, in a very negative way, how I made friends. Do I have any friends on the spectrum? Except for one friend with Asperger's syndrome, just like me, none of my friends that I have made are on the autism spectrum, which is pretty incredible. If all my friends were on the autism spectrum, we will accept each other just because we have autism. Being surrounded by so many people who are not on the autism spectrum kind of made me feel accepted for just being who I was, and even though I do have autism, they really don't care and they really don't mind, which is incredibly comforting to me. If you're someone with autism or Asperger's watching this right now, my advice to you, be yourself and be proud of the fact that you have autism. Having autism is not your fault, and it's absolutely nothing to be embarrassed or ashamed about. That is how I felt for some time, and I ended up feeling so incredibly miserable. I felt worthless. But when you surround yourself with incredible people, they will see that you are incredibly valuable. In fact, you might actually teach your friends about autism through your own experiences and through your own perspective. Just be yourself, be proud to have autism, and surround yourself with incredible people, and you will end up very, very happy. Well guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up if you guys liked it. Also in the comments below, Tell me what are some of the best friends that you've ever had, and what are some tips and advice of how to make friends. I look forward to reading and replying to your responses below. And finally, as always, if you guys like my videos and want to see more videos from me in the future, go ahead and give this channel a subscribe. Well guys, that's it for now. Until next time, bye bye!